Hey guys, this is Cyrus of Chaos. I'm here with Miles Weiss, who just made his first cadet team in men's epee. So hi, Miles.
Hi.
And we're going to be watching this bout between Andrea Santarelli and Kazuyasu Minobe in the finals of the Budapest Grand Prix from last season. Have you fenced either of these guys before?
No, but I watch them all the time.
Okay. Do you want to give us a quick breakdown of each of them?
I, even though I'm a pistol grip and Minobe is a lefty French grip, I can get a lot from him because he is probably one of the cleanest, just fencers in general. I love his footwork. He's very, he's tricky. He sets a lot of traps, and he uses his French grip and leftiness, super well. He's just such a sharp, he's so sharp. And he's super fast. And Santarelli he's just unique. The dude
he
just jumps all across the strip. It's the closest. I don't know. I think it's close to foil, and he just jumps takes the blade. He's just super confident. He can just do anything he wants.
Yeah, that comes from having good technique, and both of these guys have unbelievable acceleration.
I agree. Santarelli's foot touch, at one moment it's on your wrist, his hip's on your wrist, and next it's on your foot. It's just insane.
Yeah, Minobe has a great foot touch too, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, I was watching him recently, and I've noticed we might see this about, but I finally saw how he checks for the foot. It's he goes in one step, he steps in, and then he does another tiny step, and then he goes to your foot. He was starting Yicer in the last Budapest Grand Prix, and in the priority touch, he flicked his foot. The dude got an insane foot touch.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those recently. He won some bout in overtime in Vancouver on that as well.
Seraphin, yeah, the Canadian.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
He'll hit your foot. You just gotta watch it. I think you got I've talked with Miles Weiss. He's my coach and my brother. I've talked with him before. You just gotta plan for fencers like Minobe and fencers like Santarelli. You have to plan that they're gonna hit your foot 4 times in a bout, because you can try and stop it all you want, but they're just so good at it. They're just gonna hit you there.
So how do you deal with that? Do you just take extra space and just be extra aware of your foot, or you just kind of accept that it's gonna happen and just kind of?
You try and prevent it, but I think the best thing is just staying aware and you kind of try and set the trap, you give it to them, but you're they're not creating it. You're giving it to them, and they go, and then you
capitalize on it.
Yeah, you can catch them on that.
Because at that point, it's on your terms.
Yeah, you create the moment instead of them doing it themselves. Because, like I said, when Minobe has that certain setup when he goes to the foot, he'll hit you if he gets that. So if you give him the foot and then he goes, you have a better chance of hitting him.
Interesting. And I know Santarelli is really good at creating openings himself, so we'll see if he uses that kind of strategy once the bout starts.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about either of these guys, or should we get started?
We can get started.
Tsopoulos of Greece, Juan Leandro of Venezuela, our video referee for this fencers. Budapest, Epee.
I also love the blue mask that Santarelli has.
Champion.
They're both very drippy. I like Minobe, red stripe all across the stuff.
Yeah, the Japan outfit in general is kind of sick. The red stripe just goes up the white body. It's really cool.
I know. So cool. But you see how Santarelli starts a bout. He's just slowly pushing, trying to create the moment, and Minobe's counter pushing, putting the counter pressure.
But he's doing it from a very far distance.
I mean, yeah, because he knows. They both know that they're really good on the short target. So I don't know what I was supposed to say about that, but they're both really good at wrist and foot touches.
So
they're both
just quickly in Saber, I hate this camera angle, but in epee and foil, I actually love it. Because
from the back.
Yeah, because not completely from the back, but from that sharp angle. Because from here you can see the distance really well, but you lose a lot of the intricacies of what's happening with the blade.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But from that angle, it's almost like from the fencer's perspective, where you can really see what is happening with the blade.
A little more patient in this bout.
Minobe keeps.
Ooh.
Minobe keeps showing up. He's like up. I think he might go to the foot. Up. Close. Too far.
When you say showing up, you mean he's showing that he's going to hit the high target?
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to your wrist, I'm going to your wrist, I'm going to your wrist, and I feel normally when someone does that, they're gonna try and go like top. Bottom,
they're conditioning you so that you're ready for a high defense, and then they hit you in the foot.
Yeah, just faking.
Interesting.
But Santarelli, like he's right, like with that, he was creating the moment. Like he's pushing, he's not really reacting. Like Minobe's throwing all this stuff out, and Santarelli's just pushing, waiting, and he just like Minobe thinks he has the moment, but Santarelli just catches him. So I really like how their steps are so tiny. Like look at like Santarelli, like he never really overextends. Like look how tiny his steps are. Like so light. Like even though he doesn't move that much, it's like he thinks about his steps. That's what I try and incorporate myself. Like the way that fencers like Santarelli, they don't like, sometimes they're like all over the place, but most of the time when they're pushing you, it's like so specific, like this step, they think, like each step means something.
Yes, exactly. I think that one of the main differences between like the mid-level and the top level is that every movement has a lot of intention behind it.
Yeah.
And you can really see the way that manifests itself in their footwork. Because like you said, he's taking very small steps, but he's only doing that when he needs to. Like he was taking bigger steps as well earlier. It's just at this point, he's taking the small steps because that's what he wants in this situation.
Because he's trying to draw him out. He doesn't want to overextend.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Let's say he took a bigger step right here. Minobe would have hit him. Like Minobe had the right timing, but Santarelli was the one controlling the distance.
Yeah. Minobe was so fast on this. Like it looks from this angle like he should be hitting him, but
but Santarelli got the parry.
Yeah. And the repose.
I think Minobe might have missed over his shoulder a bit.
And we'll see in that sharp angle replay in a second.
It looks to me like Santarelli is not going to give Minobe.
That was almost like a foil counterattack with closeout.
Yeah. I see that a lot in Italian.
Together,
no, it doesn't appear.
Well, he used defense foil, so.
Really?
Yeah, all of them did.
That's not surprising, actually. Now Minobe.
Ooh.
Minobe's jumpy.
Let's just see that again in slow motion. So for those of you who don't know, when the video is paused, if you press the period button, you can go forward a frame, and combo goes backwards. So that's really good because even though he missed this action, he caught Minobe reacting in a way that there was no way he was going to be able to punish him for it.
That's something, because Santarelli, he goes like, he always starts like it's short target wrist, short target foot. So like he's so effective at hitting you, but at such a far distance that it's not threatening. That's what makes that foot touch so dangerous. Because it's like unless he starts and you fully commit into him, which is dangerous because it could be a fake and you just get the parry. Like you have to. He just creates the perfect moment. It's just him. Like he scores or nothing, pretty much.
Yeah. And one of the things I like about Santarelli's game, or just is that like he does a lot of low percentage but really safe aggressive actions.
Yeah, and most of the time, what happens with those is eventually the opponent starts something big's gonna happen. Like he's gonna the next one that hits, so they get tense and they go, and then Santarelli parry post counterattack. Then he draws you out with all that the short target threats.
Because you feel like you feel in danger. Like if you don't do something, one of those is going to connect to you eventually.
And that's what the small steps are like. He's small step, go to your foot. Small step, go to your wrist. Small step, you're the other guy. Minobe's shoulders are tense, starts his attack parry post. It's great. I really like that's such a big part of his fencing, and he's so good at it.
He's keeping the tempo of the bout lower. Santarelli's not moving a lot in and out. He's trying to keep his ground and find good opportunities. He was able to do it on the first one.
So two things happened there that I liked a lot. So one, Minobe shows him some speed, and he just moves his arm out of the way. And the second time, Minobe shows him speed, and he just kind of ignores it.
He's trying to keep his ground.
Well, because it's just not a threat yet.
Yeah, and that's what he's showing him. He's showing him you're gonna have to do more than that to scare me.
You're gonna have to draw out, and then I can use my defense.
Minobe's extending himself on his arm. Maybe to draw an action, maybe to finish his own.
This is epic.
Ooh.
Kind of close to doing.
I like that from Minobe. I think Minobe took more control in that. He didn't let Santarelli push him. He fought for each touch.
Good hard flush.
I mean, not for each engagement.
Yeah. I know what you meant.
Unbelievable.
All right, whatever.
We all know that feeling.
Pressure by Santarelli.
See, here, now his steps are big. He's like, I'm threatening you.
Minobe does the same thing.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good mix-up.
Short feints to the hand.
I can't explain what
Ooh.
it was charging. I used Epee. It just paused. I didn't see that. But go back.
Base. Couple advances in a row. Minobe does the same thing. Santarelli gives a little space. Short feints to the hand. Good counter.
See, he with those small steps, he's like, it's just so tense. Like, a lot of great, when I hear people talk about fencing, really good fencers, like, I've heard this a lot with Davide Di Baroli as well. It doesn't look like it, but they're in your face. And, like, when someone's in your face, you're like, I mean, you're threatened. You draw out, and then you can get touches like that with, like, clean counterattack to your shoulder, parry post. He just puts, when someone's in your face, you just, like, you feel like you have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the adjustment Minobe has to make in this bout, so he can control. When someone's in your face, you can just back up, or before they even start, boom, you do a flesh attack like he did in the last touch.
Yeah, I've played a lot of like fighting games and battle royale games, and when I'm getting to the point where I feel like I'm getting really good is when I decide that it's okay to run away at some point, and like recognizing the right situation where the distance is not right and you just got to get out of there.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to realize because it's your like intention to want to like, or not intention. It's like it's human nature to want to kind of want to stay in, but sometimes it's better to just get out of there.
Yeah.
And I think
and then start to create your own moment.
Yes, and I think it shows a lot of maturity. Like that is often like a turning point for me when I'm playing a game, is recognizing that.
Yeah. Like to choose your battles.
Yes, exactly. Just recognize when you're not in a favorable position, and you don't have to make something out of it. Just back off and like try to recreate a more favorable position.
That was great.
Nice. Very good. Good patient back and forth.
Oh, that was so pretty.
Nice flick. Very
Yeah.
light touch.
Wasn't a very good replay, but
Santarelli's light with it.
ooh.
So I'm saying you can't hit him unless you fully commit, but then that's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Short. Kind of the battle of the short target in this bout right now.
Yeah. They're both scared to fully commit to something. Okay.
You
I
like
that a lot from
Santarelli, he's very tightly wound.
It's a good mix-up, and I'm very surprised that Minobe was able to still get his light
His
on.
focus is
I mean, he's
very
French grip.
conservative.
So it's just to be expected, I guess.
Yeah, when I fence people, like, my teammate Mahir, like, you can flash perfectly, but French grip, they'll hit your arm, they'll clip you, they just got that extra length.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, sometimes I actually would not be surprised if that was Minobe's single, just for how it goes.
Santarelli didn't do much of a movement backward. He looks very comfortable in his own distance and comfortable not moving around more than he absolutely needs to.
I really like the way both these fencers use their back foot. They're
A little bigger
like Santarelli, like
he was able to
he shows that he's giving up space by like using his back foot, but he's not giving up space. He's just showing you. So like you feel like you're gonna enter the distance and you can attack on prep. And Minobe is just like constantly changing where he is on the strip, like constantly like using his back foot to get out, faking with the back foot coming. Like it's like he just does so much with his legs. I don't know. I like that style when you're like working someone with your legs, or especially with French grip, you're like working someone with your legs, trying to draw them out, trying to get the counterattack, trying to like find the short target, creating this moment. And I think he's great at that.
Just a millisecond in there where
I also really like the way that when he's moving forward, Santarelli kind of shows that he could move into distance with these like small front foot movements.
Yeah. And they both use their feet very independently.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Well, Santarelli.
See there, he made Santarelli feel like he could fully commit because he went to the foot. And Santarelli's like, next time he comes to the distance, I'm just gonna try and close. Minobe's like, not if I close first.
that was very similar to the last touch too.
Yeah. Well, now Minobe's pushing. Now Santarelli isn't the one creating anymore. Minobe's putting the works on him. So their distance is always so far. They're like, I can hit your foot when I want.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the end of the period too.
That's a big advantage to have, though.
Being able, I mean, yeah, I mean, Epee, especially being able to threaten someone
From
with,
such a far distance.
And see, like another far distance touch is flesh. Like, and Epee, if you can wrist foot flesh, like you can control the bout because people won't go into
mutually agreed upon
short distance with you because they're scared of the flesh, and they won't go into long distance. So you just control. Like they're always, I don't know how to put this. They're always threatened by something. Like when I know someone can't hit my foot, I can keep it far. I can go to their foot. When I know someone can't flash, like I get close, I try and bait them to attack me.
We saw in the score's 4-4, so people did score points.
They have an all-around game, but that's just how seniors is.
Yeah. Everyone's so solid at everything. So what would you be trying to readjust as each of these fencers during this moment of break?
As Santarelli, I'd be thinking those last two touches I wasn't pushed like I was in the beginning. Like I wasn't doing like pushing, putting the pressure on, making him react. And as Minobe, I'd just be like, those last two touches were perfect. I was putting my game onto Santarelli. Not, I was creating the moment instead of reacting.
So you think both of them should make the adjustment to be a little more aggressive?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that's when both of them fence their best.
So I think this is an interesting situation. It happens a lot in Epee where somebody gets up by attacking and then goes back on defense. But it's like it's kind of interesting because yes, in general, defense is a better, like a higher percentage situation, but in this situation he was getting his touches on the attack.
Well, he was getting his touches on going forward and like it wasn't really an attack.
Right, yeah.
That's drawing out.
That's too much of a Saber perspective. But he was getting the touches by creating a situation and pushing rather than by turtling up and trying to wait for the situation to come to him.
I mean, it's just more comfortable. Like, and some things are affected, but they're more uncomfortable. So when you get up, you start to feel comfortable and you start to go back, and the other fencers like they're fighting for each touch, and you can see that. Like Santarelli's like, it's more comfortable to stay back here and like try and work on the parry. Minobe's like, ooh, wrist foot, drawing you out, boom, close. And that was the last two touches.
Yeah.
So but that's how both them fence their best. It might not be completely. I think they're both pretty comfortable with it. Like this after this tournament, like the rest of the season, Santarelli, like I guess everyone, he just bouncing 6'8", jump, 8 like foot touch. Like he was just really aggressive this whole season, and I think that's what like made it work. And then Minobe this season has been I've been watching his bouts. He's getting out in 64s because he's letting people dominate the action
as opposed to creating it himself.
Yeah, and the last couple, I actually watching him a lot. The last two Grand Prix / World Cups, he's been like way more aggressive, like going for the foot in priority in 64s, like some scary, risky stuff. Because now he's just being more aggressive, and I think not even in this bout, but overall, these two fencers fence their best when they're like putting it out, pushing, setting up.
Makes sense.
But we'll see shortly.
That's what I love about watching Santarelli.
Because he's not that He's not that boring.
Yes, exactly.
Santarelli. And they're keeping it cagey.
See, Santarelli's going back again.
A bit of blade contact. Or 4 beat to the
That was close.
Drop down to the foot.
Sometimes you just use that to check the distance.
Yeah,
Like,
it's an execution
Trying to
test.
it a little more now.
yeah. Set up.
Increasing the tempo a little bit, especially on the movement forward.
Ooh.
Nice touch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good,
You
good
can't-
one, good double
now-
one afterward.
and he didn't move
The
back.
speed
You
of
have to,
Minobe
when
on
someone's
that,
like,
on that exchange.
it's so, it sounds easy, but when someone comes at you in Epee like that, you have all the space in the world to move back, but it's so hard. You just want to react and counter. But I feel like that, like, I've been working on that a lot. Like, when someone attacks me like that, you just gotta step back and then, like, skip their action, like, let them fall short and then hit them. But Santarelli, like, Minobe, like, starts, like, he tenses his shoulders and tries to counterattack. It just won't work.
No,
He's done the same action pretty much 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Santarelli's pushing. Kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
See,
It's
now
about time.
Minobe's going back more.
Santarelli's keeping his tempo low, but
Santarelli's
Minobe's
going
really
back.
throwing his nice touch.
Ooh, that was really nice.
He
He kind of
Returns
drew the
to
commitment that he'd been getting hit on, and then
acceleration.
took advantage of it.
Yeah, this time he stepped back. He made him fall short.
Yep.
And then boom,
Cool on that
was
one.
able to close.
And that looked like an easy touch, but that was actually,
Minobe's really throwing his
That's hard.
yes, it is.
It's scary to do things like that. Like when someone's like his tip is out. Like Minobe could like clip your arm or something, or duck. Like he's fast enough to do that, but Santarelli's just close the distance. He's confident.
And graceful. Look at that.
He's very graceful. The dude has
Yeah,
finesse.
Santarelli just
I'll say
returns the
that.
favor there with that.
I spoke to
preparation.
But see, I think Santarelli took. Even though Santarelli didn't push him all the way to the end of the strip, I feel like Santarelli had more control in the footwork that this engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Santarelli
I love those little jumps.
Me too.
Letting him get close and do this direct attack
They're
straight.
both quite bouncy.
Ooh.
See, he just does stuff like that. Major threat. Like even he can hit that from that far.
And just the fact that you know that he can do that is threatening.
Yeah, you can't be comfortable. Tenses you up. But nobody can do the same thing. Yeah.
See, if it was up to me, I would have this angle the entire bout.
Really? I don't know. I think I'm just used to this angle. I watch.
Nice touch.
Oh,
Can't
see?
disengage with the flash. Right
This-
cover.
They're just drawing each other out for the
Santarelli,
perfect.
that searching for the blade, it
Santarelli
wasn't
came in too
there.
big with his hand up.
Yep.
It was in his
Minobe
chest.
just goes.
It seems
And
like
Santarelli
Minobe's
keeps
picking
showing
up a little
the-
bit of a pattern with Santarelli's
Minobe
kind of
knows it's going to be the
keeping
6. It's going to be the 6. It's going to be the 6.
So he just
Big-
disengaged around it at the right time.
Just
Yeah.
bigger action. And especially when the distance is tight, you
Yes,
got to
Santarelli has to be more tricky.
things which create
Yeah, he knows he wants to do the 6 back flick.
big and open. You don't need to worry so much.
Well, that
He's
six-
tried it like 3 different times, right?
Is,
Or at least twice.
He
maybe
does-
it's not
he does
always
it a
that way,
lot.
but tonight it
But
seems to be very big.
Yeah.
Most of the time when he goes back with the 6s, he just blocks.
Ooh.
He's been
See,
effective
that-
as he just
boom,
was then,
close.
when he's been able to counter.
But that, I don't know how.
Good touch.
That wasn't really. It wasn't because he threatened him. I think Minobe was just trying to catch him off guard. Then Santarelli was ready. But that's why small steps are so powerful, because if he was a little bit more in the distance, he would have gotten hit by that. But he's putting that pressure with these like tiny steps, so he's not in danger. He has time to react, and he's not overextending.
So you're saying that the first thing that your coach ever told you in your first class to take small steps was actually really good advice?
I think I definitely am. I was a big stepper for a long time, but Ivan Trevejo came to Alliance and he started preaching about small steps, and I found they're amazing. I think they really do.
They're amazing.
They are amazing because it's just safe. You're safer, and you're putting more pressure. Like I don't know how. I'll think about it. I'll think how to explain it more.
Was that your fencing epiphany that small steps are good?
I know why they're good. It's just hard to explain.
A little bit of pressure. Really pushing back.
Huh. They're both trying to make each other react right now.
Yeah, it's even as well again.
Yeah.
Santarelli's been really consistent about the way he
Santarelli's-
plays this match.
Running with the tip more. No. Minobe's running with the tip
Very
more.
limited
He's doing
movement.
he's doing what with the tip?
Yeah, Minobe's like showing like.
Oh, showing,
like,
okay.
The hand.
And then Santarelli's just like, if you want anything, you're gonna have to like commit. And when you commit, I'm gonna close. Now Santarelli's threatening.
Non-com?
Seconds remaining.
What is the rule for non-com at this point? I guess we're about to find out.
It's 1 minute of exactly 1 minute of no fencing, P yellow. And if
Okay,
like,
so they implemented the P cards at this point. Okay.
yeah,
I couldn't remember when they did that.
it was a while ago. I've been dealing with the P cards for some time.
What is your opinion about that change?
I think it's good. I like it a lot in team. In team, it makes it a lot more exciting.
Yes, I agree with that.
Used to be so boring because like if you didn't like fencing one guy,
You could just back off and it would be
yeah,
it.
they just salute. Like it makes more interesting matchups.
Yes, I agree with that.
And also, let's say you find you're like a high ranked team, but the first bout your fencer goes in, he just like doesn't do well, and the other team starts turtling or something, or at the beginning they just go back and they're like, you have to come to us, but they're not as strong and you have to chase them. Now you get a P yellow, and now they have to come to you, and then you have a bout. You know, they can't just turtle at the back of the strip and wait for you to attack.
Yeah. Interesting.
But an individual, I don't know. Epee so slow. Sometimes you need a minute to set up, but I think it makes it less. I think sometimes it encourages like 1 minute, like to take 1 minute to do something, instead of like discouraging it. Because
So what I like about it is that you, when the non-com is called, you don't lose the rest of your period, which you used
that's what I'm
to.
saying. Like you can spend a minute and take the P yellow just to like
Set up a
see what
touch.
this guy's doing.
Yeah.
Instead of like, it used to be if there was like 15 seconds left and you were just fencing, they'd be like, you have to go. You just have to flush it then. Instead of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it, and Epee, I think it might actually make it slower instead of pacing it up. Because let's say I'm down like a couple touches and I don't know what to do. I can spend a minute knowing that I'll only get a P yellow and that doesn't really mean anything. But I'll get like the information I need.
Makes sense.
It's about to go crazy in the third period.
Yeah.
Santarelli, what I've noticed, Santarelli in these like couple seconds left, really likes to try and get the touch. He's always trying to get it. Maybe not. He was trying to pressure him to go.
Yeah, he was.
I've seen a lot of times with like 5 seconds left, he just tries to run at you and flick your foot.
Yellow card for non-combativity.
I think it's the same thing again. If I were
And
most of these fencers, you just have to go take control.
To sort
You have to
out how we're going to end this
push,
match. How are they going to end this
and just,
match?
if it's defense, it's defense. If it's attack, it's attack, but it has to be your own action.
Santarelli's
Yeah, they've
That's
both been
right.
having a lot of success by pushing the other person. So
he's remained kind of
I
calm
think-
and centered, and
I think Santarelli
needs a lot of back and forth movement.
needs
I'd be
to,
curious if they take that
try and
approach
pick the
with
foot
this
more, threaten Minobe more, draw him out. Because that's when I think most of his touches have come from.
extra edge, if you
I
will,
love that touch.
in the third period.
That was really nice because he knows he's going to take the 6.
Yep.
He's proning with his hip constantly to figure out which pair Santarelli's going to take.
Still prepare a lot of the same way. And
One of
draw
my favorite
that
things about
6
Santarelli is his
pairs that,
intense
that Santarelli-
streams.
Yes.
They're amazing. Like, he gets a touch and then
That's
10 seconds later, he just wails.
Well,
My
he's
favorite.
absolutely saving the match, but I think that's the detail.
I'm
that
excited
they
for this
kind of
third period.
hone in on if I'm Minobe.
yeah, this is when it always gets really
So
exciting.
I guess we'll see. But you know, is
Like that.
Santarelli going to keep this sort of
Saber
low-
must. In Saber, it must be different only having one break. I always interested me. Like at 8-7, like if the other opponent has 8, and then you just have one break to talk to your coach. Like I couldn't imagine that. Like, and I think you get at least 2. I mean, at least 1 most of the time, and 2. But you know you can only talk to your coach once. Like that'd be weird for me. Just so fast.
Yeah, there's a lot of time between touches where you can have like small conversations with them. But it's a lot more like there's a lot more moments where an action happens. So between that, you're just thinking about how you want to set up the beginning of the touch. At least that's the approach that I take. And so between touches, you kind of talk to your coach about how you want to set that next action up.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
In Saber, when you get to the lines, you already have your action that you're going to do in your brain.
Absolutely.
And that's so different from Epee. In Epee, like, sometimes I'll take 30 seconds and be like, okay, I think I want to go to the foot. Or like sometimes I'm at the line, I'm like, I'm going to go push him and attack with disengage. But sometimes you kind of just like, maybe that's why it's slower pace.
Yeah, I think that's the way that the attacks and the defense are in Saber. You kind of like, you're kind of pushing and trying to create a situation, or you're being pushed and trying to create a situation from that. But that's the situation where you can't just like do an action because you know the other person's going to go in that moment. You have to try to create that moment for yourself, and that's when it's more similar to Epee, when the attack and the defense is happening in Saber.
And those free moments when the guy's like running you down the strip.
Yes, exactly. That's when you're trying to find the situation to either counterattack or to take the blade or to make them finish that you're talking about right here.
Yeah. In Epee, I think it's just, unless they go off the line, it's all of that. It's all like, what am I going to do?
Exactly.
The moment's always changing. That's why it's slow. Because your ideas are, they're pliable. At one moment, you're trying to find the counterattack, but at the next moment, the moment calls for an attack on prep.
Yeah.
But that moment goes away too, and then you just have to build it with your footwork again.
And that's kind of what the attack and the defense is in Saber. It's just more mono-directional.
Yeah.
Approach.
All right, let's get this period started.
Period.
We'll see how subtle the changes are with him. He's an explosive guy who likes using a lot of movement.
Well, it looks
Seniors always have their shoulders loose. It's crazy. I'd be tense as hell. That's fine.
Yeah, they do look, both of them, very relaxed.
Jump forward,
They've been here before.
Yeah.
Santarelli's pushing. Ooh.
double to open.
That would not have been Santarelli. That would not have been a double if Minobe was pushing.
Was good because
If Minobe picked his moment a little better, you mean?
If Minobe was creating the moment, that would have been a single for him.
Interesting. Ooh!
That's the Santarelli classic.
How on earth was that 2 lights?
And another.
I think that's what Minobe was saying too.
So, these last 2 touches, now stuff's getting intense. They're both fighting to get the lead because it's the 3rd period. So they're both, and you wouldn't see stuff like this in the 1st period. Now they're just that's so risky. His tip is out. Wait, he hit his thigh? That's just quirky. That's just a weird touch.
That's what Minobe was saying too.
And another.
But now they're taking more risks. For sure.
Attack, counterattack.
Like Santarelli, I feel like if in the 1st period, at that would have just backed up.
I would have high-fived him there.
That's so weird. Who's just going to take control?
Ooh! That was a nice attack and prep.
That's the difference between, I'll tell you, right here's the difference between small and big steps.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, how do you do that period thing?
So,
Ready?
Yep.
Where's the period?
Period is 1 frame, 1 frame forward, comma is 1 frame back.
See?
If you go too fast, the video will freeze like that.
I can only hit period.
Nice time.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I just failed with
Santarelli
that.
had a step.
But, wait, you try it.
Nice time.
Oh,
Okay, wait.
That's fine, it's fine. I got it.
Okay. But that's just the difference between big steps. If Santarelli came in smaller, he could have gotten the parry. Because he's overextending so much, Minobe can just, boom, hit him right there when he's not ready. That's what...
Nice time.
oh, yeah.
That was just a mistake by Santarelli. That wasn't really Minobe creating the action.
It was like a small moment of impatience.
Oh wow, no.
But that's what I'm also saying about risk. Like, that was risky. risky.
case for wanting
Like
to
even if
huh.
Minobe didn't attack him right there, that's a risky thing to do those massive steps to gain the distance.
Because you don't gain a huge amount by doing it.
Not really, because normally the person will just like,
Ooh!
Takes that back.
Yeah.
With
Now
style.
that's a big step gone right. Ready? He's going big, boom, boom, because he's ready this time. Minobe's like, oh, I'm gonna get him again. I'm gonna close the distance. Santarelli's like, I'm expecting it.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what he's doing so well in this bout.
Yeah.
With style.
That was just beautiful.
Hyping
That had
himself up with the,
finesse.
Yeah, it did.
That's the six that got him in trouble.
But so,
Keep him
like, that
all
was
in.
off the line. That was the first, like,
Here we are.
oh my god, what is
Huh?
he? He's crazy. He's crazy.
He was trying to do it again.
This is who he is.
Yeah.
There's more of
He's
this.
just confident with that.
That was almost like a saber action that he just got.
Pretty much.
See if
Minobe's
this game
being-
opens up.
Minobe's being way more cautious now.
We'll see
It's
what
even
He's
again.
trying to-
figured out and
Yeah.
picked up on in this.
Minobe hasn't hit the foot yet.
No, he
Actually,
hasn't.
neither of them
have.
have hit the foot.
Yeah.
He's pretty patient himself. He doesn't.
They both know
Ooh!
they're good.
I was just-
Santarelli hit that.
I was just thinking Santarelli was getting way too close again.
It was a double, but it was still.
How does he hit that?
Yeah, this is too
Definitely
close.
push and the counter comes.
Santarelli got really lucky there.
Not-
And he wasn't ready.
Not a bad setup
That's
by
such a
Santarelli.
panic counterattack.
Minobe should be
It was a good save, though.
say thankful, but
Oh my god.
another
He's
double.
crazy.
We're gonna have a
This is Saber. This is Saber.
say thankful, but happy that
If this was Saber, that would be attack, counterattack from right.
Close one at the end of the
Yeah,
final.
that's why Epee doesn't have
Should be
right
okay.
of way. We don't like all those rules. See, Santarelli, but this is what I'm saying. I mean, let's see if it works, but I like how aggressive he's being. It's
Me
his
too.
action every time.
Minobe
Just
not
has to be ready.
engaging a lot. I think
He's going
gonna
back.
leave it up to Santarelli, see if he can go create something. Minobe's ultimately a defensive guy. He's fine by showing counters and pulling distance. So like, I think we're going to see these two guys do their fencing.
wait. A lot in this little like footwork exchange, you can see how well they use the back
Engaging
foot.
a lot.
Like,
I think
count,
he's gonna leave
you
it
can't
to
even count how many
Santarelli, see if
times
he
like
can
Santarelli fakes going
go
back.
create something.
Like,
Minobe's-
I'm gonna go, like he's
Minobe's
either bounces
ultimately
static on his
defensive
back
guy.
foot,
He's
or like shows I'm gonna
fine
go
by
back,
showing
tiny
counters
back steps,
and
constantly,
pulling
like,
distance.
doing tiny changes in direction. Minobe too, he's constantly like reacting to Santarelli's footwork and keeping the distance with these like also like tiny steps in and out.
Mm.
It's I just really, I don't know, the footwork right here is just really beautiful.
Nice.
The last period, the stuff they like to do anyway.
That's exactly why you're here.
Stuff they like to do against everybody.
Well, we've got a minute left in this match.
Wow.
This for the gold medal.
Ooh!
He went in twice the same way. Santarelli came in
We've got a
twice with the
minute
same
left in this
prep,
match.
like, and Minobe just got him the second time.
This for the gold medal.
There you go.
Oh,
I mean, it's kind of lucky.
Santarelli went over the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah. But
Let's
Minobe
see
also
that
just
one.
laces harder with the
Outside.
dub, so
Here we
you gotta
go.
give it
That's the
in.
first one.
But it was just, he shouldn't have gone in twice like that. Minobe was ready the second time.
He went over the shoulder twice, actually.
Santarelli's frustrated. He got
That's
bailed
frustrating.
out
Yeah.
by the first one missed, and he still wasn't able to hit.
I mean, on the one hand it is, but those touches that you were saying like looked really pretty before, where he just barely grazed him, like that's what happens when you miss with that.
Yeah, when you can't hit the finesse touches,
Yeah. That ends up happening.
you start missing over the shoulder.
Yeah.
He was able to-
It's not quite a flick, but it's the same kind of concept as it.
Yeah, but he's got
Yeah.
to be careful.
The light thing.
So like graze, you get like a better angle, but the penalty is it's harder to hit, so you miss sometimes.
That's true. But the times when it's your single,
It's so pretty.
it's celebration.
Oh.
He just didn't commit. Like Minobe's putting all the counter pressure on. He's not giving him too much, and Santarelli just doesn't feel comfortable, but he forces it. He forces this attack, and he finds himself outside of distance. And look, he's on one leg. You can't recover from that.
Do you see where the blade is?
Yeah, it's over, but it's not over his shoulder. It's just like barely. It's like he's just not there yet. If
Yeah,
he's
it's-
closer.
Right, it's inside.
Yeah.
I think.
No, that's just classic Minobe.
Look at this
I'm out
picture.
of here. I'm breaking the distance. He's straight. He's in a ballerina position right now.
Oh.
This is
He didn't wanna
that's
go.
He
fun.
went for it.
Yeah, if I think if Santarelli had really gone for it there, he could have gotten that touch.
He went for it.
Yeah, but he was Minobe
Paid the price.
isn't giving him anything. Minobe's only like just he goes in, he goes out, he goes in, he's going out. He puts the counter pressure on so you can't feel the distance. So when you do something, it's forced, and then when you force something, you're not sure it's gonna score. So then you go only half in. That's why Minobe can hit you.
Gotcha.
Was sharper there. Santarelli probably could have afforded to go into the deep target. He hesitated a little bit and settled for a short counter. Minobe countered and hit him. We'll see if.
Oh! Finally, he got it.
He's so soft.
For a short counter.
But but Minobe did the wrong thing. He didn't like. It just wasn't his moment. Now Santarelli's putting the pressure on, and Minobe's kind of staying static on his feet. And Minobe's like trying to find the moment to go, but Santarelli's ready. Look how you can see it right now. Look, his tip is up. He's ready. He comes in, and he's just expecting the attack on Fred.
Oh wow, that was nice.
Back flick, beautiful.
That's his touch. He likes it.
Even I enjoyed that
jump
one.
Forward through 4 and then counter 6 with the blade.
22 seconds.
So he's doing the stuff he likes to. Oh man.
What?
Oh yeah, no, I can see why he's pissed. That was a clever idea. Jumping
It looked like Santarelli did the exact right thing.
His own touch.
I didn't see it for some reason.
Big jump forward through. There's this and then counter 6 with the blade.
Okay, here. I'm watching it now.
So he's doing the stuff he likes to.
Ooh, he just. I can tell you. Sometimes that happens to me too. Sometimes he went too fast and too far in. Look, if he would have he got the reaction to what he wanted, but he was already too close. And then it doesn't his tip wasn't out. He didn't start his duck yet, and Minobe tip was already on him. He just got. I would say it's too late. He got too close and it was a little too late. It looks perfect, but it was just a little off the time.
So do you think that Minobe just like scraped the top of his shoulder or something?
I couldn't see that. I think Minobe hit the top of his.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Top of his arm a bit, but it just it was the right action, it just wasn't executed.
Yes, I agree. The way that the tip deflected, it kind of looked like Minobe just completely missed.
Yeah, but it just flicked off. Ooh, I like this from Minobe.
Ooh!
I like that. You don't get what Santarelli wants to do right now is push
him far.
But Minobe's like, no, I'm taking control of this last touch even though I have 14, and I'm going to hit you on your mistake because you're rushing.
And he finally got the foot.
That's awesome.
This was his second Grand Prix this year, right?
Yeah, no, he was on fire in 2019. Dude could not. He won, didn't he win Doha or Qatar?
Yeah, one or the other. Yeah.
I just want to go back. This is how you should play a 14-12. Like, if you know how you're scoring. You know you're scoring when you're putting the pressure on.
Good idea. And then
Boom. You don't let Santarelli push you all the way to the end and get your bladed back. Like, you put the pressure on and you find on his mistake when he's overextended. That's perfect.
I like that too. Because you know that the person needs to push you really hard, and if you threaten their space, it makes it harder and gives you more opportunities.
Yes. And it's also like, when you're fencing someone and they're at 14-12 and they're in your face, that's, now what you do is, everything you do, like, it makes you nervous. You're not comfortable at all. And Minobe's like, I got room to play. I can go to your foot. I'm up 14-12, I can play this game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Even if it doesn't work the first time, he's still got like more wiggle room.
And Minobe is very confident priority too. That was just perfect.
The free roller coaster ride. All you gotta do is
great celebration.
Yeah.
That's a Yasu Minobe. What a champion.
Okay. Overall thoughts for the bout from you?
I mean, it was kind of like what you were saying, where like when whoever was being very aggressive but doing it in a safe way tended to score touches. And the way that these guys would each lose touches was by being more passive, and also in Santarelli's case, when he was being very aggressive but not doing it in a safe way.
Yeah, I like how you put that. Santarelli was, scoring beautiful touches when he was pushing with cautiously and thinking about each step. This, I'm gonna small step in. I'm gonna prone with my tip. I'm gonna like just ignore what he does. I'm gonna go back. But when he was like huge step, and Minobe's like, okay, and Minobe's brain is like, on the third step, I'm just gonna close. Like that's when he made his mistake. But I think overall, this was a very, very close bout. I think as you can see, like some of the touches Santarelli didn't get, he just missed. He just didn't hit him. Like over the shoulder or I mean, that's just how fencing French grips is. They have that extra length. They can hit you, and you'll just miss. I don't know. I just want to watch this touch. It's so beautiful.
I was hoping they would give us a replay of it, but they never did.
They had to show Minobe getting tossed in the air.
Yeah.
I think Santarelli definitely had the potential to win this bout, but just small mistakes lost it for him. And Minobe's great job for picking off those small mistakes with touches like this and touches like that flash attack earlier when he went around the sixth. I think overall Santarelli was more aggressive bout, but sometimes it goes against you.
Yeah. And it's not just being aggressive. Oh, we get a replay of the throw in the air, but we don't get a replay. There it
I
is.
thought it was going to get a lot closer, but Minobe made a lot of really good decisions. Very, very heady, very deliberate decisions at the very end.
I think my favorite thing about these two fencers,
we thought that Santarelli was kind of building his own momentum and kind of
it totally is.
Points and Minobe just had an answer. And it was a decision.
Any other thoughts?
Yes. So I really like the way that he. Yeah. So let's go back to the original version of that touch. So Minobe's acceleration is so good that. For me, it's scary because each of the motions that he does on the way in could turn into a real attack. So, like, I'll point one out when I see it. So, like that. Just that tiny motion there could be followed up by a real attack to the foot. Or that one.
I wonder if we'll be able to see it. That's what I see a lot when he goes to the foot. Like, recently when he went to the foot against Weiss in priority, he does like 2 tiny steps in, and he can just accelerate off those 2 tiny steps because he just feels the distance, and he's really confident.
Yeah, so watching this, like, I feel uncomfortable as Santarelli because, like, I think he does it one more time before he actually, like, that little twitch that he just made, that could turn into an attack to the foot.
Because he can just explode off of things like that.
Yes, and because Santarelli is about to lose the match, he has to respect every single one of those movements. And then one of them does turn into an attack to the foot.
Because he's just fast enough. Like,
yes, it's just...
He's just quick enough to be able to react to big mistakes like that.
So people always talk about how important acceleration is, but it's not just the fact that you're changing your speed, it's the difference in speed, right? So it's the difference in doing almost nothing to being blindingly fast. And I really like the comment that you made to me last winter about Epee, where, like, you said, people think that Epee is too slow, but we're really just waiting for the right moment to be fast. And
I think that's especially Minobe. Minobe is constantly waiting for the right moment to explode off these tiny steps he does. Like, any one of these, he could really just, like, he feels it, boom, he can hit you.
So I think a lot of the time the problem that people have is they see Minobe making movements like this and they try them themselves and it doesn't work and they wonder why. Well, the reason that it works for Minobe but it doesn't work for you is because these little motions where he's, like, faking towards the foot, like that one, which is tiny, and he doesn't put a ton of acceleration like that one, because each one could turn into that lightning fast attack to the foot. And the fact that Santarelli knows that makes him respect those fakes.
That's what makes this whole bout was full of those tiny foot checks.
Yeah.
Which makes Santarelli open up the distance really wide or close it a lot. Like, the reason why there was times in this bout where they were like meters apart, but they were still fencing because they know each of them could explode off their next, like, entry and next fake. That's why I think a big part about fencing Minobe is getting really close so he can't control with the steps. You know, he can't hit your wrist or foot. You know, you're really close. He can only go to your body, pretty much. You can't really go to the foot when you're like tip to tip. It's just too close.
Interesting.
I don't know how. Does that make sense? Like,
Possibly.
the reason why it's so important sometimes for Santarelli to get really close is because it closes off the short targets. So you have to make Minobe commit to your body, and then Santarelli can parry or break the distance and counterattack, or even close into him. That's why I think I watched a lot of the bouts where Minobe lost. It's because he just lets the person get too close and lets them like get his blade. You don't really see Minobe getting his blade like taken that much. For friendship, a big part of it is like not being able to. You can get overpowered so easily. It's like being able to take it away.
Yeah,
you know, if you try and get his blade, he'll hit you with that like lightning, boom, like right off his back foot.
Yeah, he's really good at just absence of blade fencing. And I think, like you said, if you're a French grip fencer, you kind of have to be, because you don't have the strength advantage once the blades are engaged with each other.
Yeah. Even as a non-French, if I were a French grip, I'd probably try and model my fencing after him. I think, just every part of it, the foot touch. Like, I really like the way he uses, like he goes like down, up a lot, because he threads with the foot. You close, you just counter back to the top. He has a nice flash. I just really like Minobe's fencing a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Is this it?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Miles.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.